Hello. So I stole my child's AirPod, just one, because I don't want to have both in my ears. And I downloaded an app that was like $10 because I would never normally spend that. So I'm gonna tell everybody I downloaded an app so that hopefully you can hear me better. So maybe you give me a yes or a no in the comments or whatever. Is that how this works? So you can let me know if it sounds better. And I think it's gonna cut off a lot of the music, but it should pick up my voice a little better. And maybe it'll be easier to follow by me walking us through the flow verbally, and you can actually hear what I'm saying. So let's all start together at the front of the mat, finding our feet hips distance, and reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Nice deep inhale through the nose, exhaling through the nose. So we feel like we're kind of tight, release that tension. Maybe we sway a little bit. But today, at any point in our practice, today, any day, actually, if we're practicing and something doesn't feel good, we don't like it. Maybe it's we don't like it because, our muscles are on fire, or maybe we power through those. But if we're doing any type of back bend, or maybe any type of bending in the knee, or anywhere, or we're on our hands and it hurts, we don't power through. We always back off. So we listen to our body. We breathe into our poses, feel our body, and listen to the body. So we're gonna start going here, reaching the crown of the head nice and tall. Let's roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And we'll just inhale the arms up, nice deep inhale through the nose. Exhale our hands towards our heart. Let's sit back in our chair right away. So lift the toes, wiggle the toes, pulling our shoulders away from the ears. We feel the hips have scooped up. Let's tuck it under a bit. Feel the belly engage and find that spine elongate. Sitting a little lower, a little lower, a little lower. Hey, did we go so low that we went to our toes? Let's stay high then, sit up higher. Trying not to sit too far forward. So we should really be feeling this in the legs, in the abdominals even a little, as we try to balance on the heels. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, bring the elbows in towards the ribcage, lifting through the chest. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, let's sit right back in that chair so our hands can be at our heart, or maybe they reach forward, but we retract the shoulder blades together, pull the shoulders away from the ears, tuck that tailbone a little, sitting a little lower, maybe a little lower, maybe a little lower. Check the knees. Are they over the toes? Bring them back. Is our chest collapsed? Lift it up. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, bring the elbows in towards the ribs. Chest lifts. Our hips are not shooting forward. We bring them over the heels. Inhale nice and high. One more. Hands can come straight forward, or maybe we like them at our heart. Lifting and wiggling our toes. Maybe we sit a little lower. Pulling the shoulder blades together, maybe a little lower. And one more. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, bring the elbows in towards the ribs. Inhale nice and high. We're going to forward fold, bending our knees a lot. And then our hands can come towards the floor, maybe towards our shins. But our knees bend as much as we need here. Finding a half lift. Hands coming all the way to the shins or all the way to the thighs, just not pressing into the knees. Let's come down. We're going to take both feet to the back of the mat, finding ourselves in a plank. Shoulders are right over the wrists. Fingers are spread wide. Press away. And then first downward facing dog. Let the tailbone lift towards the sky. Maybe our feet adjust a little, so they shouldn't be adjusting a lot. We should be able to easily shift forward into our strong plank. Shoulders right over the wrists. Hips not too low or too high. So we should be able to shift easily from our plank back to our downward facing dog. In fact, let's keep doing that. Inhale, nice and far forward. Exhaling back. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. One more. Let's come forward. Drop the knees. Take the shoulders past the wrists even more. And come all the way down to the belly. Release the feet. So the tops of the feet are resting on the mat. Hands are under the chest. We pull the shoulders away from the ears and lift the chest for a gentle low cobra here. The glutes are squeezed. The abdominals are active. And we could lift our hands off the mat. Exhale back down. Let's tuck our toes, walk the knees in. Feel the belly engage. Press into the hands. Lift the knees, find that downward facing dog. Let's inhale the right toes towards the sky. Take that left leg, the standing leg, give it a bend as we reach the right toes towards the sky and bend that knee. If the knee is pointing towards the floor or the back of the room, see if we can open it, working the knee towards the ceiling. Now pressing a little harder into the right hand will even out the weight between that left and right hand. Now slowly pull the knee in, stay in this down dog shape. So the knee is pulling in towards the nose, pressing through the hand still. We've not shifted the plank. Inhale, open up that hip again. Exhale, knee towards the nose, stay in that down dog. I know the arms are tired. Inhale, opening that knee again. Exhale, knee towards the nose. Maybe a little more this time. Opening up. Back to center. Extend the toes to the sky first, and we'll drop them back down towards the mat. Coming forward to our plank. Knees can be up or down, but the shoulders past the wrists. Chaturanga. Hands are under the chest, still cobra. Release the toes. Squeeze the glutes. Inhale, chest lifts off the mat. Maybe the hands do too. Exhaling back down. Tuck the toes. Walk the knees in. Hips have lifted. Pressing up. Lift the knees. Downward facing dog. We're switching sides. So let's inhale those left toes to the sky. And then bend the standing leg, that right leg, just a little bit. And see if that lets us lift the left toes higher. Now bend that left knee. And same thing. So if the left knee is pointing towards the back of the room and our toes are pointing towards the ceiling, let's see if we can switch that. So we work the toes pointing towards the floor and the knee towards the ceiling. And then pressing a little harder into the left hand to even out the weight distribution. All right. Knee comes in towards the nose. Opening up. Staying in that down dog shape. Knee comes in towards the nose. Exhale. Inhale, opening up. Knee towards the nose. Exhale. Opening up. Extend the toes first. Drop that foot. Shifting forward. Shoulders past the wrist. Chaturanga. All the way to the belly. Release the feet. Cobra. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, back down. We lift our knees. Our hips and maybe our knees. Elbows in. Press up. Downward facing dog. We're going to come to the front of the mat. So lift the heels nice and high. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees like they're trying to touch the chest. Look between the thumbs and step, hop, or tiptoe up to the front of the mat. Finding a half lift. Hands are at the shins or the thighs. Exhale, fold, bend the knees a lot. Get our blood pressure back. Maybe we come up really slow. Maybe we come up a little faster. Just standing, we're going to bring the hands overhead. Exhaling our hands towards our heart. Taking a breath or two here to get the blood pressure back if we need. And then we inhale nice and high. We're finding that chair. Exhale, sit the hips back. Lift and wiggle the toes. Retract the shoulder blades. Now find a bit of a twist. We're taking that left forearm and crossing over both thighs. And we bow and arrow that right hand up. Maybe it feels better just to bring our hand to the hip and open the front of that right shoulder. Or we reach the right hand high. But if our front of our shoulder is down, even though the hand is up, I'd much rather bring the hand down and work the shoulder open. Lifting higher. Feeling a nice twist, maybe even pulling with that anchored hand. Switching sides, reverse bow and arrow back down, cross over the thighs. And then bow and arrow that left hand up. Same action though, maybe the hands to the hip. And we open the shoulder, gentle twist, or we found that lift. If the shoulder blades are pulling apart, squeeze them together. Slowly come back to center. Inhale nice and high, reaching the fingertips up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Let's take our left foot to the back of the mat. So just take a moment or two here to make any of the adjustments we might need for this high lunge. We're spreading the feet far. Right foot's on the right track. Left foot's on the left track. If you can actually see, you can see my left foot is really close to the long edge of the mat, but my right foot is more towards center or even closest to the right. So we don't want them really wide, but they're not going to be on a balance beam. It's really important when we're balancing on the feet here in this high lunge to find that alignment. The knee is over the ankle. Let's inhale nice and high. Exhale, sitting lower. So we're going to bring some heat into those legs. Let's bend the left leg, maybe a little, maybe so much that it barely taps. And we lift and squeeze. The front leg stays bent the whole time. Barely tap, lifting and squeeze the glute. Maybe it's just a barely bend. And we lift and squeeze. 2 more. My dog has to pee, so she's going to harass me this whole video. All right, come on down. Let's drop the left knee and walk back with the hip. So if the hip is lifted, level it out. If we need to sit higher, we sit higher. Right toes pull back and we fold. Nice half splits here. Let's walk ourselves forward. And then lift that knee. Come back to our high lunge. Exhale, hands are coming back by the hips. Palms face the floor. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Bend that left leg, the left leg, press off. Tiptoe. Balancing our right leg. Now come back to the front of the mat with both feet, sweeping our hands forward for our chair. Inhale nice and high. Exhaling our hands towards our heart. Let's switch sides. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, fold here. Inhale, find that half lift. Exhale, folding. The right foot comes to the back of the mat. Again, take a moment or two here. Adjusting the feet as needed. Left knee is right over the heel, not over the toes. Railroad track feet. Let's come on up. Take our time. Shoulders are working over the hips and not so much over the thigh. Inhale with the hands. And sit a little low in the legs. So as we find that bend in the back leg, it might be hard to keep the hands up. That's okay. Hands can be on the thigh or out for balance. But as we're ready, we slowly bend the back leg, tap, lift, squeeze the glute. The front leg stays bent the whole time. Barely tap, lift and squeeze, or maybe it just barely bends and we lift and squeeze it. 2 more. Which leg is more on fire? Come on down. Taking the right knee down, let's walk ourselves back. Let's pull the left toes back like they're trying to touch the shin. Lifting the chest. Squeeze those shoulder blades together and fold. So we're flexing that left foot. If the foot's on vacation, activate that whole leg. Let's come forward. And then lift the back knee. Plant the hands. Take that left foot back to meet our right. We're finding our first upward facing dog, but let's drop the knees. So walk the knees so they're behind the hips and not straight under it. And then we keep the thighs and the hips off the floor the entire time. So if the thighs and hips touch, go back to that cobra. Bend the elbow, touch the ribs, and then lift up with the chest. But we're not shrugging or sinking, we're pressing away. The glutes are squeezed, the abdominals are squeezed, and we're lifting the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Slowly come on back. Toes tuck, lift, coming back. Breathing here. Let's take the left toes to the sky. Bring that left foot all the way to the front. Using the hand if we need. Come on down. High lunge. Exhale, hands are back by the hips. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Find a spot that's not moving and stare at it. Right leg bends, press off, balancing in that left leg. Slowly drop it, chest comes up. Sweep the hands forward, chair pose. We're finding a bit of a balance. So check that the feet are hips distance. The abdominals are engaged. Retract the shoulder blades And then bow and arrow, both hands back, lift the heels, balancing chair. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Slowly drop the heels. Bring the hands to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, elbows come in, lifting through the chest. Inhale, nice and high. Let's bring our palms together, right at heart center. We're going to heel toe our feet together. And we find that chair again. We're finding a gentle twist. So this is a little harder to not roll towards the toes as we try to keep that balance. We're still continuing to sit the hips back. Gentle twist. Left elbow comes to the top or outside of that right thigh. So opposite elbow to opposite thigh. Prayer position hands pressing through that top hand. Our eyes can be open, closed, or just finding somewhere for our balance. Slowly coming back to center. Inhale, nice and high. The feet stay together. Switching sides. Hands come towards heart center. Hips sit back. And we find that twist on the other side. So right elbow comes to the top or outside of that opposite thigh. Now we press the top hand harder into the bottom hand, deepening our twist. The weight roll to the toes, mine kind of did. So we'll sit back again, lift and wiggle those toes. Again, eyes can be open or closed. If we close them, it's going to definitely challenge our balance. Let's come back to center. Inhale, nice and high. Exhale, forward fold, finding the floor or our shins as we have a half lift. Exhale, fold, right foot comes to the back. Hips are low. Inhale, nice and high. Exhale, sit the hips lower. Bend that right leg, barely tap. Lift and squeeze. All right, dropping both hands down. Right knee comes down, sit on back. We won't be here long. Remember, we did this already. Let's walk ourselves right back forward. Now, our right hip is in front of the right knee a little bit or a lot of it. Left knee is over the heel though. Nice stack there. Hands can walk up or we sweep the hands up. Sit nice and low. Come on down. Right knee lifts. Let's take the left toes to the sky. Check that the hands are shoulder distance and not mat distance. Fingers are spread wide. Inhale the toes up. Exhale, press hard into the hands. Release the tension in that right calf and heel. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, bend that left knee and open up that hip. Pressing a little harder into the left hand to level out the shoulders. Exhale, come forward. Bring the left knee towards the left elbow so we feel that hip open up. It can touch the elbow or maybe a little below or maybe a little higher. Or maybe it just reaches towards it, holding it. Press away for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale the toes up. Shift forward into our plank. Our left hip is level with the right. Drop the left toes. Upward facing dog or cobra. So legs are off the floor the whole time for our upward facing dog. Shoulders past the wrists. Chaturanga. Flip the feet. Lift. Squeeze the glutes. Press away. Flipping back. Downward facing dog. I can tell my body has not been doing a lot of yoga. This is exhausting. If you're exhausted, you're not alone. All right. Let's inhale the right toes up. Bring the right foot to the front of the mat. If it gets stuck halfway, use the hand. Sitting a little lower, front knee is over the ankle. And slowly come on up. So feeling the nice stable base here. The left heel is working over the toes. Our feet are on that railroad track. Inhale. Exhale, bend that left knee, barely tap. Lift and squeeze. When we're ready, come on down. Back knee drops. We find that half splits again. I like to lift first to reset my spine. Pull the right toes back and then fold. Slowly walk on back. Left knee lifts. Let's take those right toes to the sky. Shake it out a little. Hands are shoulders distance. Open up that right knee. The right hip. Pressing hard into the right hand. And we found the knee towards that same elbow. So inhale here. Exhale, shift forward. So it's stacked, our shoulder stacked right over our wrist. Maybe the knee touches, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's higher than the elbow, maybe it's a little lower. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend up. Right leg stays straight. Shift forward, plank. Dropping the right toes, upward facing dog or cobra. Shoulders past the wrist. Touch the elbows to the ribs. Flipping the feet. Upward facing dog. Flipping toward downward facing dog. Let's bend one knee and straighten the other. And switch. And switch. So just taking a breath or two here. And then we're going to inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, look between the thumbs. Step, hop, or tiptoe right back up to the front of the mat. Feet are hip distance. Take our time. Bring the hands all the way to the thighs. Getting our blood pressure back. Pulling the shoulders away from the ears and squeezing the shoulder blades together. Legs are not locked out. Micro bend. Start to sit back in the hips now. And now the knees are really bending. Chest lifts. Inhale nice and high. Let's bring our hands towards our heart. And then from here, we're bringing our feet right back together. So we're finding that twist again with a little extra balance. So press the heels together, press the knees together, and take our time so hands can shoot forward. Our shoulder blades come back together. The hip tucks a bit, and we twist again. So hands come to prayer position, and we gently bring the left elbow to the top or outside of the right thigh. Now we're gonna drop the hips a little lower, press a little harder into that top hand, the top hand into the bottom hand. Can't talk. But if you've come to my class, you know I can't talk ever. So when we're ready, we're gonna stay right here. Maybe we lift the right foot, spread the toes, and grip into the mat as we pull that left heel towards our glute, playing with our balance. Stay, or maybe we extend it out. Bend that right leg. And maybe even step the foot all the way back. If we're like, nope, not today, Jen, that's fine. Instead, we just tiptoe it. But spread the feet far. Hips are low. We work the hips lower. Now press that top hand harder into the bottom hand. Lifting the top hand up. Staying here. Or we lift our head over our hips. So we're reaching our hands in opposite directions. Our chest, our shoulders are opening towards that front bent leg. That back leg is straight and strong. We're bringing the heel over the toes. Let's cartwheel, hands on either side of the foot. Right toes come to the sky. Exhale, bring the right knee towards the right elbow. Inhale, extend those toes up. Exhale, shift forward, knee towards our nose. Round in the spine. Inhale, toes towards the sky. Exhale, crossing the belly, right knee towards the left elbow. Hold. Maybe we kick that foot out. We're going towards a scissor side plank. So we drop the back heel and slowly lift the left hand towards the sky. So if it's our right foot that's kicked out, then the left hand is to the sky. The right shoulder is directly over the wrist, and we're pressing away nice and strong. Drop that hand back down, and then take the right foot back to mirror left. Downward facing dog. Breath here. Slowly coming forward, upward facing dog or cobra or child's pose. Whatever our body is calling for. Glutes are squeezed and active. Right back to that downward facing dog. Inhale, the heels nice and high. Exhale, bend the knees deep, look between the thumbs. Step, hop, or tiptoe to the front of the mat. Inhale, finding a nice half lift. Hands all the way to the thighs. Pull the shoulder blades together. Long neck, start to bend the knees. Find that gentle chair. And then slowly come up. Shoulders are up, back and down. Rolling out that tension before we hop over to the other side. When we're ready, inhale nice and high. Exhale, hands towards our heart, sitting our hips back. Retract the shoulder blades, pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then we found that twist. Oh, let's come back up actually. Inhale. Hands towards our heart. So bring the feet together. I could have brought them together in our chair, but this is going to be a little easier. A little safer feeling maybe. The knees pressed together, the ankles pressed together. Inhale, up again. Squeeze the glutes. Pull the abdominals tight. Keep them active. Hands towards our heart, sitting back. And we found that twist again. So right elbow comes to the top or outside of that left thigh. Pressing that left hand harder into the right. Deepening our twist. And then we lift and spread the left toes this time. I like to keep my gaze towards the mat for a little balance. So if we're kind of wobbling and looking all over, we're going to have a hard time with our balance. So feeling strong in the core. Let's slowly maybe bring the heel towards the glute of that right foot. Maybe we slowly extended it out. Ooh, feeling wobblier on one side maybe. And when we're ready, when we feel even, bend that left leg, step the right foot back, and make sure we didn't step too far. Make sure we didn't step in a balance beam. So just as needed. Maybe we fell and we're like, oh man, I can't do the other side. No, we can. We just come up and we find that twist again. So inhale, palms together, twist. Same thing. Now bring that right heel over the toes. Feel strong and sturdy in the legs. Abdominals are active. We stayed here for a while. Or when we're ready, we can extend the left hand to the sky. I am regretting this fire right now. My leg is on fire. I am a sweaty lady. When we're ready, maybe we came up, working the shoulders over the hips. If we notice that the shoulders are still facing the front of the mat, let's work them open towards the long edge of the mat. Maybe we sit low in the legs. Pull those abdominals tight. Exhale, sink. Let's cartwheel, hands on either side of the foot. Take the left toes to the sky. Shake it out. Extend the left toes higher. If the right leg is locked, look, mine is locked. I don't want that. It's just what happens sometimes. Give it a little bend. Press away, lift. Open the hip a little. And breathe. All right. Inhale the toes to the sky. Exhale, bring the knee towards the left elbow. Inhale the toes back towards the sky. Lift high, press through the hands. Exhale, knee towards our nose. Really round, feel the abdominals working. Inhale, nice and high. Cross the belly, left knee towards our right elbow, hold, press away. And then kick that foot out. So if we stay here the whole time, all right. Or we drop the back heel and work that right hand up. So this top leg is fully grounded and the left foot's flexed. Our hips are sinking. Our shoulder is stacked. We have a nice, stable base here. When we've had enough, slowly come back. Bring the left toes to the sky. Shake it out, dropping that foot. Upward facing dog with an extra push-up, or we stick with our regular or a cobra. Chaturanga. Flip the feet, squeeze the glutes, lift the chest. Now tuck the toes back to the chaturanga arms. Press up, downward facing dog. Oh, breathe here. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, press away. Let the knees bend a little. So we can stick to this downward facing dog, or we can find our child's pose. Okay. We're going to add on. So inhale the right toes up. Bringing the right foot to the front of the mat. Hips are low. Slowly come on up. So let's throw in some of that stuff we did before. Bend the back leg, tap. Lift, squeeze. And then from here, bring the hand to the thigh, dropping, sit on back with the hip, pulling the right toes back. Maybe the hands are back by the hips, and we squeeze the shoulder blades together. If our hips feel wobbly or maybe unlevel, let's try to level them out. Then a hand can come down, or we sweep them. And then come on up to our high lunge. Adjusting as needed. Let's open up to our warrior two. Let's take a moment or two here to make any adjustments we may need. So our heels, we're working our heels on the same line. The right toes are facing the front. Our back heel, even if it's a little bit, is pressing away, or it's parallel with the back of the mat. We don't want it in for that rotation in the hip. We want to find the femur spinning in the hip socket so we can open this front knee a little more. Reaching through the hands, but retract those shoulder blades. Reaching forward. Flip our palm, drop the backhand. Reverse that warrior. Again, if we're really crunching here, let's see if we can sit higher and reach the top hand back, like we're trying to grab something with our opposite hand off that top shelf. So we need to stay high. Bend that front leg. Breathing. As we look straight forward, if we can see that top hand in our peripheral, we want to open up a little more. Let's straighten the front leg and then come back up with the chest, reaching our hands in opposite directions. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, come forward. When we can't go any farther, hand comes to the shin or the thigh. And we reach the hands in opposite directions. Breathing here. Okay, let's see if we can lift a little higher. Exhale, sit a little lower without rounding the spine. So inhale a little higher. So same thing. If we're shifting, if our gaze is straight forward, we shouldn't be able to see our arms and our peripheral vision. Come on up. Exhale, bend that front leg. Elbow comes to the thigh. And when we're ready, let's bow and arrow the hand down. Lift that back heel. Adjust as needed. Come on up. We're going to come back to the front of the mat, but in our twist again. So from here, pressing our palms together. Slice. Bring that left elbow to the top or outside. Now press the top hand a little harder into the bottom hand. Whoa, maybe we lose our balance a little. Pressing into the hand. Feeling strong in the legs. Bend that back leg. Press off. Maybe it's a tiptoe. Maybe we find that pause and lift. Pull those abdominals tight. Now bend the knee. Bend both knees. Come back to that chair. Press the ankles together. Drop the hips. Maybe we lift the top hand. Maybe we come on up for a gentle twist lift. Sit. Drop the hand. Come right back forward. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hand, step, or maybe we hop. So make sure the abdominals are engaged to the back of the mat. Upward facing dog or cobra. Option with that extra push-up. It's a little hard if there's a chair in your way. Right back. Breathing here. Let's inhale the left toes up. Left foot comes to the front of the mat. Hips are low. Slowly come on up. Take our time. Shoulders are over the hips. Inhale the hands up. Hips are low. Nice railroad track feet. Inhale. Exhale, bend that back leg. Barely tap. Lift, squeeze the glute. Hands come down. Drop the back knee again. Sit on back. Hands can come to the thigh. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Let's fold a little more. Let's walk ourselves forward. Bend that front leg. Lifting the right knee. Come on up. High lunge. Open up warrior two. So taking a moment or two here, making those adjustments we might need. Heels are aligned. Left toes are facing the front. Back heel presses away even if it's just a little bit. Reaching the hands in opposite directions. The front knee dumps in. Open it. You might need to sit higher. We've been stuck at home for a long time. Those hips might have been open before, but now they might be tight. Or maybe not. Or anywhere in between, right? Nice deep inhale. Exhale. Reaching through the fingertips. Inhale, flip that palm. Hand drops to the back thigh and reach on back, reverse that warrior. Same thing, both sides of the ribs are long, so we're not collapsing. Maybe that back shoulder drops a little, but we keep the spine long. We can reach back like we're trying to grab something from the top shelf, but not shrugging. So long neck still. Exhale. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, maybe a little lower. That leg is on fire. All right, straighten the front leg. Slowly come right back forward, reaching the hands in opposite directions. And then slowly inhale. Exhale, drop the hand to the shin or the thigh. Top hand straight up. Can I see my arms? Nope. If I went like this, I could. Or this, I could. But as long as I'm looking straight ahead, if I see them at all, I need to open up more. Nice deep inhale, lift a little higher. Exhale. So shifting sideways with the gaze like this, that takes some extra step about. That's pretty intense. So we can keep our gaze lower. Again, inhale, lift. Did the hip pop out? Tuck it under. Exhale, drop. All right, bend that front leg. Bring the elbow to the thigh. We slowly bow and arrow. Lift the back heel at the same time. Take our time. Drop the hips. And then from here, slowly come on up. Feeling the legs on the railroad track because we really want a sturdy base here as we twist. Pressing the palms together. Slice. Right elbow comes to the top or outside of that left thigh. Now bend the elbows. Feeling strong. Gaze might want to just stay right on down at that mat. Heels over the toes. Make sure our abdominals are engaged. Pressing away. Bend that back leg. Tiptoe. Or maybe we shot straight up. Oh, chair's in the way. Finding that balance. Maybe our foot steps straight into the front of the mat. When we're ready, slowly come on down. So feet are together. Hips drop. Maybe we come up with that twist a little bit. Maybe we reach the hands in opposite directions. Slowly drop that left hand. Come back to center. Inhale nice and high. Exhale, forward fold. Finding that half lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands. Step the feet or hop to the back of the mat. Upward facing dog or cobra. Flipping back. Breathe here. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, pressing away. Lift that tailbone high. All right. All right. Let's take the left toes to the sky. Sweeping the left foot all the way to the front of the mat. And then we're going to spider walk. So we're going to find our straddle split. So slowly walk the hands over to the long edge of the mat. Finding our feet wide. Maybe not too wide, maybe not too close. We might need blocks under our hands here. Let's find our feet, though, parallel with each other. Or maybe a smidge pigeon toe, so toes and heels out. Legs are not locked out. They might even need to be parallel with each other with the feet and kind of bent because our hamstrings are so strong and tight, right? But we just don't want to lock them out. And when we're ready, let's start to walk our hands forward. Keep the heels grounded. So walk the hands forward. And then when our heels feel like they want to lift, press them back down. Keep the hands there. Maybe even bring them back a smidge. Now find our hips back like we're going into a downward facing dog. Pull the abdominals in so we're having that wide leg down dog here. Our hands are rooted into the floor. So are the feet. Now see if we can press harder into the outsides of the feet. See how that feels. Now see if we can press a little harder instead to the inside of the feet. See how that feels. And the different activations of the different muscles. Now see if we can lift the toes, spread them, and ground through the whole foot and press that way into the mat. Pressing throughout the whole foot. Pull those abdominals tighter if they went on vacation. And then if we want, maybe we drop our right shoulder, looking under the left armpit a little, coming back to center, and switch dropping the left shoulder, looking under the right armpit. Coming right back to center. And then let's walk our hands back under the shoulders, just like we would be on a tabletop position, but on our hands and feet instead of our hands and knees. Let's slide the left hand under the chest. We're going to bone arrow that right hand up to the sky. Lift that hand nice and high. If we feel our shoulders are kind of zigzagged and that right shoulder is dropping, maybe the left hand wants to be on the fingertips or a block so we can lift higher. We want to peel the front of that right shoulder open. Reverse bone arrow switch so the right hand comes directly where the left was. Just switching sides. So bone arrow that left hand up. And lifting a little higher, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Reverse bone arrow that hand down. And then from here, walk the hands forward again, pressing the hips towards behind us, I guess. I'd say the back of the room, but kind of moving all around here. Maybe again, we want to do our shoulders dropping a little bit. Maybe we give the hips a little wiggle. And then when we're ready, let's slowly walk our hands back. And then we're going to heel toe the feet in 1, maybe 2. But find, again, heels and toes out, and we're going to find a squat. So we know our own body. Maybe our feet need to be closer. Maybe they need to be wider. So just adjust as we need, but drop the hips slightly. Now today, maybe my hips aren't warm enough to be able to find my heels down without wanting to fall back into the fire. Maybe every day it's like that. So the heels can be up. We're still going to get a great hip opener as long as we're not going to be passive here. So we're not rounding. We have a long spine. We're going to take those elbows, press them into the thighs. Now press the thighs back into the elbows. And we kind of fight each other. It's kind of a negative way to explain it, but we're really having a gentle, friendly little battle between the elbows. Woo, there's a fire there. Between the elbows and the thighs, because we want to use it for leverage to lengthen that spine. Release the hands, start to lift the hips. Maybe we shake them out a little bit. We're going to do that again. So take a nice deep inhale, lift the chest a bit. Exhale, start to bend the knees, sit on back down. If the knees hurt at all here, we don't do it, we back off. I don't care if you're in a room of 100 people, which you're not supposed to be right now, but your knees hurt and everyone else is doing it. I don't care. Don't do it. It's not worth it. But breathe here, long spine. If you're rounding, but you're like, yeah, my heels are down, don't do it. Let's find room to grow. Keep them up. And then pressing into the elbows into the thighs and lengthen the spine. Maybe we find a little wiggle and we try to feel our heels maybe down one at a time. Just a little bit. And maybe we do that a few times and go, nope, not today. You let it go. It's not worth it. All right, release back down. We're gonna find ourselves on our butts. So help ourselves down. And then from here, let's actually come to the long edge. So if we have, let's try maybe a water bottle. It's gonna push off. So we bring it out. Pull the toes back. Long spine, bring the hands back by the hips, nice deep inhale. Exhale, start to fold. Maybe we start to walk our hands forward. So we'll see how far we can reach. So that we'll take the water bottle maybe and give it a push. See how far it can go without rounding the spine. We keep the shoulder blades drawn together as we reach. The knees might need a little micro bend, so we push. And then slowly come on up. Bring the hands behind the hips. Actually, we're going to do that again. Bring the heels all the way. Sorry. See, I'm shooting from the hip today, so I'm forgetting a little bit. So bring the heels all the way so we know where our starting point is. And then we try again. So shoulders up, back, and down. And then start to fold. Seeing how far maybe that water bottle pushes without rounding. So keep those shoulder blades drawn together. Okay, now slowly come back. Bring the hands behind the hips. Fingertips face that water bottle or whatever we chose. Plant the feet. Pressing into the hands. Let's lift the hips. Glutes are squeezed. If we feel pain or discomfort in our back, in our shoulders, and our knees, we back off. Slowly release. Now, sit up higher. Bring hands behind those thighs here. And lift the chest, maybe leaning back a little bit. With the toes just hovering, or maybe we extend. Feel the heat building. Hands can come out, palms face the ceiling. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And tap one toe, tap the other toe. Barely tapping. Try not to let the shoulder blades pull apart and around. We want a really straight spine here. Active abdominals. Okay. Let's do one more on each side. Slowly sit back. Shake them out for a second. Let's bring the heels right to the line of the mat again. Sitting nice and tall. Exhale, start to fold. Pull those toes back. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, fold. See if maybe we come a little farther with that flat back. So I went a little farther. Alrighty, slowly come back up, lift. Coming back, plant the feet. Maybe this time we bring one foot a little more center. We cross the other ankle over, flex that foot, and then press as we lift. The glutes are squeezed. If that's a little too challenging, we don't do it. We keep both feet grounded. Slowly drop the hips, release feet, switch sides. Foot is flexed on that top foot, lift. Glutes are active here. So are those abdominals. Heart opens, we feel that nice stretch in the shoulders. Slowly release. Squeeze both feet. Again, sit nice and tall, grab under the thighs. Lift that chest. Maybe our shins are parallel. Maybe we extend them out. So we can find that stillness here, holding onto the thighs or no thighs, bent knees or straight legs. Maybe we tap, maybe we don't. Pull those abdominals tight. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Shake out the hips a little. And then we're bringing those heels right to the edge of the mat again. See if maybe we heated those muscles up. Got a nice stretch in there. Can go any deeper. Nice and long spine. Inhale. Exhale. Start to reach. See if maybe we've come a little farther. So like really warming up the muscles and ligaments and tendons. Find a little more length. Do notice I'm kind of pulling the shoulder blades apart though. So we want to find that length as we reach. And we've had enough. Come on back. Plant one foot. Grab under the thigh. Gosh, it's been 50 minutes. I just looked. I wasn't even going to go for that long of a class. But I suppose that's what I'm used to. So let's pull the knees into the chest. Rocking side to side a little. Maybe little circles with our knees. And switching directions. Now, if we have any bone density issues, you may want to not do this one, or any rocking, or any kind of added pressure on our bones. All right, when we're ready, release the feet down. Let's bring our palms facing the ceiling, and then just slowly windshield wiper our knees side to side. So our feet can be hips distance at first. See how that feels? And then maybe, once we've windshield wipered a few times evenly, maybe we open our feet wider to mat distance. Make sure we have a nice long spine still, and see how that feels. Slowly drop the knees to one side and to the other side. On one of my last regular classes, I forgot to do one half splits. I may have forgot more, but I think that's all I forgot. I'm hoping I didn't forget anything on this side, but if I did, I'm sorry. Hopefully you remembered and you got it in. Make sure if you know what I missed, don't skip it out and do it. I don't think I missed anything this time, but anyway. All right. When we feel like we've had enough, let's grab under the thighs, draw the knees towards the outsides of the ribs. Nice deep inhale. And exhale, release everything. Let our feet come all the way towards the bottom of the mat. And then slowly, maybe release the tension in the feet. So if they're straight up or we're feeling really tight in the legs still, let go of that. Our hands are, let's bring them wider than the mat. Maybe we like it really wide, or maybe we like it just a bit wider. But we're all flipping the palms so they're facing the ceiling. Maybe even lift a little, draw the shoulder blades together a little more. If we have something we want to place over our eyes to block out the light even more, we can do that. Or if there's another pose we like or any props we like for our final relaxation, we can find that now. I do have a yoga wheel. I have two. One's an old one. And then one is one that I got from, I think it's called Yoga Body, which is glorious. So if you have a yoga wheel, maybe you want that. It's kind of hard with the yoga wheel though, sometimes because you don't have that neck support. But maybe you want to take this time since the body's nice and warm to hang out on that yoga wheel. We're going to take a couple of minutes here. Oh, just in case you can hear the music, I'm going to get up and change it. Let everybody stay here and breathe. Release that tension. Oh, I have a better idea. Tibetan bowl music. When we're ready, we'll start to bring a little bit of awareness back to our body if we've not already. Maybe wiggling our fingers, maybe our toes, or rolling out our wrists and heels or ankles. Maybe we want to draw one knee into the chest and then the other. Rocking side to side a little. Now we can roll over towards our left or to our right. And then we use our hands to slowly help us up into a seated position. Nice and slow so we don't get dizzy. Just finding a nice, comfortable seat. We'll reach the crown of our head nice and tall. And roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Slowly, let's inhale the arms overhead. Exhaling our hands towards our hearts. Namaste.